ton of refrigeration system is given in 1 ton of refrigeration system will be approximately equal to 3.5 kilowatts, or we say it is in 210 kilojoules per minute. Then we understand what is the term called coefficient of performance. Coefficient of performance is nothing but the net refrigeration effect to the amount of work input that we are giving to the system. So if you measure this one, then you call it as actual COP. And if you, by thermodynamics law, if you calculate these things, then we call it as the theoretical COP. So the ratio between actual COP to theoretical COP, we call it as a relative COP. Then if it is a refrigeration system, what are the major component involved in the refrigeration system that we have discussed? So no, the unit is a compressor. Then we have a condenser. From the condenser, the fluid will goes to expansion valve. So from the expansion valve, it routed to the evaporator where you are achieving the refrigeration effect. These are the main components of the refrigeration circuits. So then we have understand the fundamental cycle that begins my refrigeration system is reversed Carnot cycle. So Carnot cycle is one which you convert the heat energy into work energy. So if you reverse that, then you will achieve the remove the heat from a particular system. So that's what we call reversed Carnot cycle. So you remove the heat from a system and throw it to the environment, or remove a heat from a cold space and throw it to the higher temperature. For that you need to give the work input. For that we are having a if you ideal cycle is reversed Carnot cycle. So we understand what will be the COP of reversed Carnot cycle will be T1 minus T1 by T2 minus T1. And we compared the refrigeration system, or you call heat pump and heat engine, or how will be the performance of these systems. So coefficient of performance of a heat pump will be 1 unit higher than the coefficient of performance of the refrigeration system. So COP of heat engine, or you call efficiency, thermal efficiency of heat engine will be T1 minus T2 by T1. So these things, and based on the simple problems that we have looked into that. So these simple problems normally you will be get it in either a part A questions. Rarely in some of the big questions we used to get this one. So now, as I told you in the previous class, achieving reversed Carnot cycle is a hypothetical one. You cannot able to achieve reversed Carnot cycle because we have all the reversed Carnot cycle process are hypothetical processes. That is isothermal heat addition, which is you cannot able to achieve. So you cannot design a system which able to produce isothermal heat addition and heat rejection. So I cannot construct a device which works on Carnot reversed Carnot cycle. So a refrigeration system cannot be designed based on the reversed Carnot cycle. So that system is not workable. So Brayton has looked into the system. So they slightly modified the two heat addition process and they formed another cycle called Brayton cycle. So Brayton cycle, you know already. Again, as like your Carnot cycle, Brayton cycle is also a energy conversion cycle. From that converts the heat energy into work energy. Brayton cycle, where you are using, what is the basic cycle? Brayton cycle. What is the basic application of your Brayton cycle? Application of your Brayton cycle. So which device will convert the heat energy into work energy based on the Brayton cycle? So in the previous thermal engineering one, you have studied. Excuse me. Hello. Hello? Is that I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to see the presentation? Presentation தெரியுதா?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Wait a minute, I will share my screen. What about now?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So Brayton cycle is the basic cycle for a gas turbine plant. So the gas turbine which works to convert the heat energy into work energy is what you call it is the worked on the Brayton cycle. So if you want to convert heat energy into work energy, we will be in a cycle that we worked is what you call it is a Brayton cycle. Whereas now I want to remove heat energy from a system and I have to maintain certain temperature. So I have to reverse the Brayton cycle to achieve my refrigeration process. So that's why we call it it is a reversed Brayton cycle, or it is also named as Bell-Coleman cycle. Bell-Coleman cycle, or sometimes I call it as a air refrigeration cycle. So why we call it is air refrigeration cycle? Here we are using the working fluid as a air. So that's why we say it is a air refrigeration cycle. So now let us understand how the reversed Brayton cycle, or you call Bell-Coleman cycle, works. So this is the system where I want to maintain a temperature which is lesser than the surrounding temperature. We call it is the refrigeration unit, or we say it is a evaporator. So the air that goes into the evaporator, the cold air, assume that I have a cold air initially. So the cold air that gets into the refrigeration system unit where you want to maintain the temperature. Again, you have two type of system will be there in the evaporator system. One is a open type of refrigeration system. Another one is a closed type of refrigeration unit. In the open type of refrigeration system, the air will be circulated as it is. In the closed type of refrigeration unit, the air will be, or the working fluid will be passed through the coils, or you call a tube or pipe, or inside the pipe the air will be circulated, and the pipe will be surrounded in the your refrigeration place where you want to refrigerate. So either you have a open system or we will have a closed system of refrigeration unit will be there. So the cold air that goes into the refrigeration unit, and it will absorb the heat from the space where you want to maintain a certain temperature, and the air will become a heat air or hot air. So after observing this unit, the temperature, sufficient temperature, if it is maintained, the hot air will comes at a lower pressure. So again, I have to use this air to the inlet section so that I can goes on the cycle. So this hot air, I cannot use it as it is. So it has to go into the certain pressure, high pressure, cold air is required at the inlet. Low pressure cold air is required at the inlet. So whereas the air that comes out of the refrigeration unit is a low pressure hot air. So now this goes to the first process happens in between 4 to 1 is what you call it is a isothermal heat addition, or you call, sorry, not isothermal heat addition, constant pressure heat addition in the refrigeration unit, or what you call evaporator unit. So the temperature remains constant, pressure remains constant, and the heat will be removed from the, wait a minute, I will take the pen. So the temperature absorbed from the refrigeration space, or the heat, I want to maintain a certain temperature. So the heat is absorbed from the refrigeration space, say QA. So much amount of heat is absorbed by the cold air that get into the evaporator, and this air is heated such a way that the pressure is not varying. It is maintained at the same pressure. So it is assumed to be a constant pressure heat addition. So in the reversed Carnot cycle, we have assumed it is a isothermal heat addition, that is a constant temperature heat addition. So constant temperature heat addition is not able to achieve. So that's why the Brayton has changed his idea into, instead of saying a constant temperature heat addition, he converted into a constant pressure heat addition. For that, it is you can develop a system. So now the heat is removed in the refrigeration unit, and that will be transferred to the air at a constant pressure. So 4 to 1 is the heat addition process at constant pressure. So at the end of this one, because of the heat addition, pressure remains constant, whereas the volume is increased from zero point 0.4 to zero point 0.1. So initially, my volume is V1, V4. Finally, after this heat addition, because when you add heat to a gas, the gas will expand, and we are assuming that expansion of gas is such a way that it is only increasing the volume, it is not changing the pressure. So finally my volume comes to V1. So this process 4 to 1 is taking place in a refrigeration unit by removing heat from the space where you want to maintain certain temperature. It comes to 0.1. So at the end of this process, my air is at a temperature of pressure 1 and volume 1. So now second is my unit is a compressor, where the air, hot air and low pressure hot air will goes into the compressor, and the compressor will raise the pressure of the air. So the process that we are assuming, ideal process that we are assuming, is a reversible adiabatic process. Reversible, not adiabatic process. It is a reversible adiabatic process, or we call it is a isentropic process. That is, entropy remains constant. So just remember your Brayton cycle. Brayton cycle, we will go from this point to here, and 3 to 2, and we will come like this. Now we are totally reversing the cycle. That is, earlier in the Brayton cycle, here you will have a heat rejection. Now here you have a heat absorption. Heat absorption from the cold space where you want to do it. So heat is absorbed, and the temperature is increased from 4 to 1. My temperature is increased from 4 to 1, where the at point T1, again you are doing a isentropic compression. In the compressor is a process that what you call it is a isentropic compression. So 1 to 2 is a isentropic compression, where the entropy remains constant. Assuming ideal process, entropy remains constant. Because of the compression process, my temperature is increased from 0.1 to 2. So where pressure the cycle is raised from P1 to P2, the temperature is raised from 0.1 to 2. So at the end of the compression process, my cycle becomes 0.2, where the temperature is at 2. Then the hot air, high pressure air, now it goes to the second unit called a heat exchanger. So in the heat exchanger, what is that we will be doing is we have to cool this air. So I should not reduce the pressure of the air, I should cool the air. So by circulating the cold water in the heat exchanger, by means of circulating a cold fluid, it may be a water or any fluid. So cold fluid that will be circulated in the heat exchanger, and the heat energy that is available in the air will be removed. So again we are assuming it is a, in a Carnot cycle we are assuming heat rejection at a isothermal heat rejection, but here also we change the isothermal heat addition into a constant pressure heat addition. So heat rejection. So here the heat is rejected to the surrounding, or you call the cold water. So by means of rejecting heat, the water that removes the heat available in the air, and my air become a cold high pressure air. So heat is removed from the system from 2 to 3 is a constant pressure heat rejection process. So when you coming to the TS diagram, so my 2 is at point 2 is, excuse me, once again. Okay, I'll come back. So, where the heat energy available in the air, again it removed by means of circulating a cold water, and now the air becomes a cool air which is at a higher pressure. So, whereas again this cool air will be sent it to the expander still to reduce the temperature of the air. So, the cool air, high pressure cool air now will goes to the expander. Expander is nothing but a similar type of compressor where it will expand the and reduce the temperature as well as the pressure of your air. High pressure air becomes, you will become a low pressure air. So this cool air, high pressure cool air will send it to the expander. So the expander will expand, and because of the expansion, my pressure is decreased from P1 to inlet pressure, P2 to inlet pressure P1. So thereby the temperature of air is reduced and pressure of the air is also reduced. Again, this air will be circulated to the refrigeration unit. So this expansion process 3 to 4, we are assuming ideal process is a reversible adiabatic process. So the reversible adiabatic process, the entropy remains constant. So 3 to 4 is a reversible isentropic expansion where entropy remains constant. So S3 will be equal to S4. So this cycle, you call it is a reversed Brayton cycle. So by executing this cycle, we are able to maintain the certain temperature level, the required temperature level at the evaporator place, or you call the refrigeration unit, where you need to maintain the temperature. So this is the next cycle to your reversed Carnot cycle is the ideal cycle, theoretical cycle, which we are not able to execute the system by construct a system. Whereas slight modification of your reversed Carnot cycle, that is, we have changed only the two processes. What are the two processes that we have changed? One is we changed the two heat addition processes. So one is the heat addition and heat rejection process. So heat addition in reversed Carnot cycle, we take it as a isothermal heat addition. Here we convert into a isobaric, that is a isobaric means constant pressure process. So isobaric heat addition and isobaric heat rejection process. So by doing this, we are modified the reversed Carnot cycle into reversed Brayton cycle. So that produces the refrigeration effect, which is a workable system, whereas Carnot cycle is not a workable system. So reversed Carnot cycle are called Bell-Coleman cycle. It is also named as a Bell-Coleman cycle, which air as a working fluid. This cycle will work and produce the required refrigeration effect. So where we are using this cycle is mainly we use this cycle in a aircraft refrigeration system. So where the weight of the system is very much matter in the flights. So flight you should have the weight should be very minimum. So this cycle has produced a ton of refrigeration system to the achievable weight is comparatively low. So this system is very suitable for your aircraft refrigeration system. So now let us understand the basic thermodynamic analysis of this system. So now what is the amount of heat that we are removing from the refrigeration system? This is what we call it is the ton of refrigeration. Ennoda system capacity to find what is the capacity of the refrigeration system. So what is the capacity of the refrigeration system is nothing but how much amount of heat that I am removing from the refrigeration unit. So what is the amount of heat that I am removing from the refrigeration system is what is the temperature of air that goes into refrigeration unit, what is the temperature of air that comes out of the refrigeration unit. So the temperature of air that goes into the refrigeration unit is T4. The temperature of air that comes out of the refrigeration is T2. So then how much is mass of air that goes into the system is say m dot A, and Cp of air is what you call say Cp. So the amount of heat that you remove from the system is m into Cp into the temperature difference, that is a higher temperature is T1 minus T4. So this is the amount of heat T1 minus T4. So this is the amount of heat that you remove from the refrigeration unit. That is, you call it is a capacity of refrigeration system. So m into Cp into T1 minus T4. So the net work done of the system is nothing but I can do it in a two way. Either I can calculate by compression work minus expansion work, or as per first law of thermodynamics, you know, the sum of work of a cycle will be equal to, if a system execute a cyclic process, the net summation of work will be equal to net summation of heat from the cyclic process. This is what your first law of thermodynamics for a cyclic process. The summation of work is what you call expansion work, compression work minus expansion work, or expansion work minus compression work. So here is also I can calculate heat rejected minus heat absorbed of a cycle. So heat absorbed, we know it is m into Cp into T1 minus T4. Heat rejected, what is the heat rejected? So where you are removing the heat, we are removing the heat in the heat exchanger. So the hot air that goes into the heat exchanger is at a temperature T2, and the air that comes out of after removing the heat from the system is T3. So how much amount of heat that it lost in the heat exchanger is mCp T2 minus T3. So the heat absorbed is mCp T1 minus T4. The heat rejected in the heat exchanger is T2 minus T3. So m into Cp into T3 minus T2 minus T3 is what you call it is the amount of heat that you rejected in the heat exchanger. So the work will be heat rejected minus heat absorbed. So m into Cp into T2 minus T3 is heat rejected. This is the amount of heat that you remove in the heat exchanger from the air, and this is the amount of heat that you added in the evaporator. Air நம்ம add பண்றது in the evaporator. This is the amount of heat absorbed by the air from the refrigeration space. So m into Cp into T1 minus T4. So Qr minus Q absorbed is what you call it is the net work done of the cycle. So as you know, the coefficient of performance is desire effect, or you call refrigeration effect, to the net work input. So what is my desire? My desire is to maintain certain temperature. So to maintain the temperature, I have to remove so much amount of heat from the space so that the temperature will remain as it is. To maintain that temperature, this much amount of heat that I have to remove from the working space so that my temperature will be maintained. So that is my desire effect. So desire effect is nothing but the amount of heat that you have to remove from the space. So that is m into Cp into T1 minus T4. So this is what you call heat absorbed or refrigeration effect or desire effect. We have a different terminology that we used to call. So our net work done is nothing but heat rejected minus heat absorbed, that is mCp into T2 minus T3 minus mCp T1 minus T4. So this is the coefficient of performance of a what you call reversed Brayton cycle refrigeration system. So now you cancel the common term, எதெல்லாம் cancel பண்ணலாம், mCp will be get cancelled, and you divide by this total by T1 minus T4. When you divide this, so this will become 1. So 1 by T2 by T3. So divided by this one, T1 minus T4. Again, this T1 minus T1 by become 1. So this is the COP of ideal cycle, reversed Brayton ideal cycle. So again, I will repeat, COP of reversed ideal cycle will be 1 by T2 minus T3 by T1 minus T4 minus 1. So this is the coefficient of performance of a ideal cycle, ideal reversed Brayton cycle. So now for actual cycle, what will be the coefficient of performance? So Jabin Moses, are you able to hear me? Here onwards, if you come late, I will not admit you, right? You are coming at 10 o'clock, right? This is not right, right? Work required in the compressor. So if it is a actual refrigeration cycle. So this is a theoretical refrigeration cycle. We have calculated the COP. COP is nothing but desired effect to the network. So if you do it in an actual refrigeration cycle, what is the deviation that we'll have? So if you consider my cycle is actual reversed Carnot cycle, or sorry, reversed Brayton cycle. So my two process that you have taken as an ideal process. What is the two ideal process that we have taken? One is what you call 122 is a isentropic compression process that you assume where there is a no friction, nothing, there is no heat loss. So my compression process and expansion process you have assumed as a ideal processes. But in practical, we cannot have a isentropic compression. Your compression is a polytropic compression, or expansion will be a polytropic expansion. So there will be a heat loss and there will be a change in entropy. So the process 1 to 2 is what we assumed as a isentropic compression or reversible adiabatic compression, which you cannot execute in real time. So the compression process is a polytropic compression. So 1 to 2 is not possible. So we will be executing a process 1 to say 2 dash. This is the actual Brayton cycle, actual reversed Brayton cycle. Similarly, so 3 to 4 is the ideal process which you are not able to achieve. The entropy will increase because of the principle of increase in entropy. So 3 to 4 dash you are able to. So now the cycle is 1 to 2 dash, 3 to 4 dash is the actual reversed Brayton cycle. So to find the COP of the actual Brayton cycle, I cannot use this one. So I am calculating the work required in the compressor. Work required in the compressor, assuming my work is the polytropic compression processes. You know the expression for the polytropic compression process is N by N minus 1 P2 V2 minus P1 V1. Suppose if I know the mass of the working fluid, you multiply by the mass. So this is the work required for in the compression processes for a polytropic process. For a polytropic process is N by N minus 1 P2 V2 minus P1 V1 into mass of the working fluid. So instead of P2 V2 in the next step, what I do is, as per the air is the working fluid, we are treating air as an ideal gas. So instead of PV equal to M into RT. So we are putting PV equal to M into RT for an ideal gas. So P2 V2 equal to M RT2. So you can put P2 V2 equal to RT2. So R into, instead of P2 V2 I am putting, so here will not have M. So here will not have M. So M will come here. So P2 V2 here will not have M again. So R into T2 M already we have. So M into RT2. So instead of P2 V2 we are putting M into RT2. Here instead of P1 V1 we are supplying M into RT1. So the R that we have taken into common. So N by N minus 1 R T2 minus T1 multiplied by the mass of the working fluid. So the same thing applicable for the expansion process that take place in the expander. Work of expansion will be, it is where from where to where you are expanding. We are expanding from 3 to 4. We are expanding from 3 to 4. So pressure remains constant. Right? Understand? Your pressure is P3 will be equal to, your pressure is P3 equal to P2. Similarly here in the inlet, your pressure is P1 equal to, what is that? P4. So pressure is constant, whereas the your volume is changes from V3 to V4. So that's the expression comes here. So N by N minus 1, instead of P3, we are using P2 itself because P3 is same as P2. So P2 V3, and instead of P4 I can use P1 since P1 is P4. So P4 V4 into M. So this is the work of expansion. So again I can replace with the ideal gas law, M into R into T3 minus T4. So this is the work of compression. This is the work of expansion. So the net work will be the compression work minus expansion work. So you substitute here compression work minus expansion work. So you can take the common n by n minus 1 m into r. இதெல்லாம் என்னது காமனா வெளியே எடுத்துடலாம். ஸோ வெளியே எடுத்தால் என்ன மிச்சம் வரும்? ஸோ T2 minus T1 minus T3 minus T4. So in the bracket we are writing it is T3 T2 minus T1 minus T3 minus T4. So this is the actual work required for a reversed Brayton cycle. So I can even replace this R with the specific heat. So you know R is your universal gas constant. I can write it R is nothing but Cp minus Cv. Universal gas constant, you can write it as Cp minus Cv. And if you substitute, I want Cp, so you bring this Cv to this side. Cp equal to, what is that you will get? R plus Cv. Then you put what is Cv? Cv is gamma is nothing but Cp by gamma is nothing but Cp by Cv. So if you substitute here, then you simplify, you will get Cp equal to gamma into R by gamma minus 1. So you take this and you substitute instead of R. We are substituting instead of R. So n by n minus 1 m into Cp into, when you put it here, it will be gamma minus 1 by gamma into T2 minus T1, T3 minus T4. As it is, it will be there. Then finally, if you simplify this one, you will get the, my actual COP is of a reversed Brayton cycle will be 1 by n minus 1 into gamma minus 1 by gamma. So when you divide this, you will get T2 minus T3 divided by T minus 1 minus 1. So this is the actual coefficient of performance of a reversed Brayton cycle. So we have already calculated theoretical COP of a reversed Brayton cycle, and now we have substituting work. We have achieved the, what is the major difference is COP is actual refrigeration effect to the work input. So this is the, this Q will be same as Q absorbed. This one the Q absorbed. So that will be same as like your previous one. Whereas denominator earlier we used to find by heat rejected minus heat absorbed using a first law of thermodynamics that we have developed. So here in actual cycle you have to work with the work of compression minus work of expansion. அதை கண்டுபிடிச்சு கீழே டினாமினேட்டர்ல மட்டும் அதை சப்ஸ்டியூட் பண்ணீங்கன்னா you will get the actual COP. So this is the way to derive the theoretical COP and actual COP. So what is that we have understand, again I will repeat, reversed Brayton cycle is a cycle that executable cycle for or you call alternate to the reversed Carnot cycle, which you cannot able to execute or design a system because of two isothermal process. In the whatever the two isothermal process available in the reversed Carnot cycle, we replaced with the reverse isobaric process, or we call constant pressure heat addition and heat rejection process. So for that we have developed as two system. One is a refrigeration unit where you need to, or evaporator unit where you need to maintain a temperature. From there you remove the heat and you compress the air and send it to the heat exchanger. Again you cool the air and further it goes to the expander, it expands and cools the air further. So this will execute a cycle and produce the required refrigeration effect. So this cycle we call it is a air refrigeration cycle. Mostly this principle is used in a aircraft refrigeration applications where air as a working fluid, because which is easily available compared to your refrigerant where you need to pay for the refrigerant, but air is easily available in the environment, and because of this system has a less cost compared to the your other type of system. And this system produces a the two type of air refrigeration cycle, as you told you. One is a closed system and open system. So when you compare the closed system and open system, so in this closed system, some difficulties that we'll have. Suppose you send the air through the circulate through the pipe. Sometimes if your air contains the moisture, it get freezed and your circuit line will be get blocked. So that difficulty will be not there in the open cycle refrigeration system. So that is the one of the drawback of your closed refrigeration or closed air refrigeration cycle. Coming into the advantages and disadvantages of air refrigeration system. So as I told you, here my working fluid is air. So air is easily available in the environment and it is non-flammable. So whereas some of the refrigerant is flammable, we have to take care of those points. When you go for a vapor compression refrigeration cycle, refrigerant has a flammability limit. So whereas my air is not a flammable, it is non-flammable. So the safety wise, it is very safe compared to the vapor compression refrigeration system. And it is cheap and easily available. So there is no need to search for your refrigerant and you have to pay for it. So air is everywhere, it is freely available. So we can use it air. And the main advantage of air refrigeration system is the weight of air refrigeration system per ton of refrigeration system. To produce 1 ton of refrigeration system, how much amount of weight required, or what is the weight of system? Compared to the same, when you compare with other refrigeration system, the weight of air refrigeration system is low. The weight of air refrigeration system is low. So because of this advantages, where we are using this system, we are using this system in aircrafts. Mainly we are using because of the weight constraint, because aircraft will have a weight constraint. How much amount of weight that you are reducing, it is easy for flying. So this system produced, because also when the aircraft has a huge size of compressor, turbine blades will be there, gas turbine blades will be there, and you have a huge amount of air potential is there in aircraft. So when you use air refrigeration, you need not worry about the weight and refrigerant capacity, we need not worry. So mostly we'll use a air refrigeration system in aircraft applications. So what are the drawback of this air refrigeration cycle is, one main drawback is I cannot have a performance. We have a coefficient of performance of air refrigeration, because air is a working fluid, air is a gas, which gas is a poor conductor of heat. So you cannot able to absorb required refrigeration effect. So COP of the refrigeration system compared to the other conventional refrigeration system, the COP of air refrigeration cycle is very low. And the amount of air required to produce the required refrigeration effect. So to produce, for example, then I have to produce 1 ton of refrigeration. What is the mass of air required and what is the mass of refrigerant required? When you compare both two, the weight of air required will be more, or you call mass flow rate of air required will be higher to be circulated. Mass of air to be circulated will be comparatively higher than your refrigerant. These are the two major drawback of your air refrigeration system. So being understand these two cycles, if you have any doubt, I will stop for a few minutes and I will able to clarify your doubts. Are you able to follow? Are you able to follow or not? Just to say some yes or no, man. Otherwise, whether you are alive or dead, I don't know.
Yes, sir.
Sir, COP of actual last step.
COP of actual
COP.
last step சொல்லுமா? I will come to that slide.
ஆமா.
Okay, this is where you want. என்ன பண்ணிருக்கோம்? We have calculated work, net work done we have calculated, actual work done. So we have found the compressor work n by n minus 1 RT2 minus T1 into M. And அதே மாதிரி expansion work கண்டுபிடிச்சிருக்கோம். Expansion work is what you call WE is R into T3 minus T4. Compression work minus expansion work கண்டுபிடிச்சிருக்கோம். That is what this one. Instead of this R, what is that we are replacing? CPR replace பண்றோம். So R க்கு பதிலா என்ன பண்றோம்? I have R is nothing but this R. R இங்க வச்சுக்கிட்டு என்ன பண்றீங்க? R equal to when you write CP into, when you bring this one this side, gamma minus 1 by gamma, gamma minus 1 by gamma. அதை எடுத்து நான் எங்க சப்ஸ்டிட்யூட் பண்றேன்? இந்த இடத்துல R க்கு பதிலா சப்ஸ்டிட்யூட் பண்றேன். So n by n minus 1 m into CP into gamma minus 1 by gamma T2 minus T1 T3 minus T1. So now I know the COP of the actual refrigeration system will be refrigeration effect. What is the refrigeration effect to the net work done? Net work done just now we have calculated. What is the net work done is m into CP into n by n minus 1 gamma minus 1 by gamma T2 minus T1 minus T3 minus T1. அதை நான் denominatorல போட்டாச்சு. What is the refrigeration effect? Refrigeration effect that we have calculated previously, it is nothing but heat absorbed, m into Cp into T1 minus T4. So refrigeration effect is m into Cp into T1 minus T4 divided by net work done. இப்போ என்ன பண்றோம்? இந்த m into Cp m into Cp கேன்சல் பண்ணிடுறேன். பண்ணிட்டு T1 minus T4 ஆல டிவைட் பண்றேன். T1 minus T4 ஆல டிவைட் பண்ணுகிறது T2. இந்த T1 I bring it to this side. So when you bring it this side, and T3 I bring it here. So T2 minus T3 divided by T1 minus T4 minus this T1 comes here. So it becomes a T1 minus T4. So this will become 1. So 1 by n minus 1 gamma minus 1 by gamma T2 minus T3 by T1 minus T4 minus 1. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Any doubts other than this?
What available from expander?
So what?
Yeah.
The work required in compressor வந்து அந்த P2 V2 minus T1 V1 கீழ எப்படி R into T2 minus T1.
கொஞ்சம் கிளியரா கேளுங்க. பொதுவா நிறைய
work required in compressor இருக்குல்ல?
ஆமா.
அதுல P2 V2 minus P1 V1 வந்து R into T2 minus T1 ன்னு சேஞ்ச் ஆயிருக்குல அது எப்படி?
P2 எந்த ஸ்டெப் இப்ப நான் ஒரு நிமிஷம் வரேன்.
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் லைன்ல இருந்து ரெண்டாவது லைன் எப்படி இருந்துச்சு?
இந்த வரேன். இதா வொர்க் ஆஃப் கம்ப்ரஷனா?
work required in compressor அது WC.
Work required in compressor is n into n minus 1 P2 minus P2 into V2 minus P1 V1. இந்த m விட்டுருங்க சரியா? இந்த m இல்ல, இவ்வளவுதான். n into இது எப்படி வந்துச்சுன்னு கேக்குறீங்களா?
செகண்ட் ஸ்டெப் எப்படி வந்துன்னு கேக்குறேன்.
இதா நான் சொன்னேன்ல, இது வந்து P2 V2 க்கு பதிலா நம்ம என்ன சப்ஸ்டிட்யூட் பண்றோம்? PV equal to MRT, right? PV equal to MRT. So இங்க P2 V2 க்கு பதிலா என்ன போடுறேன்? M into R into T2. இங்க வந்து என்ன போடுறோம்? P2 V2 க்கு பதிலா M into R into T2. அதே மாதிரி இங்க என்ன போடுறேன்? இந்த P1 V1 க்கு பதிலா M into R into T1. இப்போ எதை காமனா எடுத்துறோம்? M-ஐயும் MR-ஐயும் காமனா வெளியே எடுத்துறோம். ஸோ என்ன வருது? T2 minus T1. அதே மாதிரி இந்த இடத்துலயும் என்ன போடுறீங்க? M into R into T3. இங்க என்ன போடுறோம்? M into R into T4. ஸோ இப்போ MR-ஐ கான்ஸ்டன்டா வெளியே எடுத்துட்டீங்கன்னா என்ன கிடைக்கும்? T3 minus T4. இப்போ இது ரெண்டையும் சப்ராக்ட் பண்ணீங்கன்னா நெட் ஒர்க். அது ரெண்டையும் செப்பரேட் பண்ண mr கான்ஸ்டண்டா இருக்கு. ஸோ t2 மைனஸ் t1 மைனஸ் t3 மைனஸ் t4 அதை அப்படி டினாமினேட்டர்ல போட்டிருக்கீங்க இங்க.
ஓகே
Is
சார்.
it okay?
ஆ
So others, I have sent a Google form for attendance purpose. Please click on the Google form and register your attendance. In the chat window, I have sent a Google form. So register your, write your register name, sorry, register number, name, and mail ID. So do it at one time. It is enough. Don't do it more than one time. One time, if you do it,
Sir, no longer accepting response வருது sir.
no longer accept response.
No sir.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. One second, some setting will change. So now you try, right? Posted the link again. Now you try, it will be accepting.
சார் அந்த லிங்க்லயே வருது. வருது.
Anyway, I have also I have taken the attendance from Google itself, Google Meet attendance also for my record purpose. I have both this one and that one also available, so don't worry. So this is
Sir, ரெண்டுல எதுல வேணாலும் பண்ணிக்கலாமா சார்?
நீ இந்த ஃபார்மை கண்டிப்பா பண்ணுப்பா. ஃபார்ம்ல கண்டிப்பா
ரெண்டு அனுப்பி இருக்கீங்கல்ல சார், ரெண்டுல எது
ரெண்டும் ஒண்ணுதான்பா.
சரி,
ரெண்டுமே ஒண்ணுதான், ஒரே லிங்க் தான். இல்ல கடைசி அனுப்பிச்ச லிங்க்ல போடு, ரெண்டும் ஒரே லிங்க் தான். கடைசி அனுப்பிச்சதுல போடு. கடைசியா லாஸ்ட் டைப் அனுப்பிச்சேன்ல, திருப்பி அனுப்புறேன், அதை போடுங்க. கடைசி அனுப்பிச்ச லிங்கை போடு.
மேல உள்ள லிங்க்ல பண்ணிட்டேன் சார்.
So after this, we will solve some problem related to the Bell-Coleman cycle, or you call air refrigeration cycle. So you take a break and have a notebook, and if possible, you try to do some along with my presentation. Even you can take your calculator and try to solve the problems. So you take a break and you assemble back at the next hour. What is the time? 10:45. So those who are registered your attendance, you take a break, come with note and pen so that you can copy the problems, and you can parallelly you can solve the problems also. Otherwise, it's whatever that we are doing, it will become waste. You mentally prepared as like you are in the class. Now you are as like you are in the class. You are trying to learn the subject. Then only it will be effective. Just like if you are watching the movie like TV, you try to watch this, then it will not be very effective.
Sir, next class எப்போ சார்? பிரேக் அப்புறம் நெக்ஸ்ட் கிளாஸ் டைம் டைம் எப்போ சார் நெக்ஸ்ட் கிளாஸ்?
10:45. Now time is 10:27. You start joining from 10:48. So 10:45 is next class.
ஓகே சார்.
இந்த லிங்க் தானா சார்?
லிங்க் நான் போஸ்ட் பண்றேன் குரூப்ல.
ஓகே சார்.
இல்லை இதே லிங்க் யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. இது நான் அப்படியே ஆஃப் பண்ணாமே வச்சிருக்கேன். சரியா?
ஓகே.
இல்லை ஐ வில் போஸ்ட் இன் தி வாட்ஸ்அப்.